Hey, what's up, y'all? Classic Kev back with another episode. Y'all, honestly, it's probably the most important episode yet because on today's episode, guys, I got a good friend of mine. He's the founder of the Nieux Society, the New Orleans NFT that I'm in, and the founder of the Idea Village. And I think that this guy, Tim Williamson, is going to be the future mayor of the New Orleans metaverse. Tim Williamson, how you doing, man?
Kev, so great to see you. I do not want to be mayor of the metaverse, but thank you for the introduction.
You're being elected. The people have elected you. But Tim, I want to start this off. Guys, as always, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I live in my mom's garage, but I am a member of the Nieux Society. So if you're a member of the Nieux Society, you're going to really enjoy this video because we got a lot of stuff to cover. But Tim, I want to start with a quote, and I want to get your thoughts because we are kind of in a bear market right now. And what the quote is: bear markets are for building. What do you think of that?
Well, I agree with it. And I have direct experience actually through my life. I actually started my career on Wall Street in 1987, July of 1987, which 2 months later was the crash of 87, was the 508 point decline, which was an awful time in the market, but was actually the greatest time ever to get involved in the market. My second iteration was getting involved in the internet in 1997, 98, 2 months before the 2000 internet bubble burst, which if you look back historically, if you were involved in 2000 was arguably the best time to start to build and begin an internet business. The third time was launching Idea Village 5 years before Katrina. And as awful as Katrina was, if you were building something starting in 2005 to 2008, those are the companies now that are exiting in New Orleans. So the builders during the rebuilding of New Orleans were uniquely positioned to rebuild remarkable companies here. So I think to answer your question, Kev, right now, with what's happening now, I get more excited personally when things, not only when there's negativity in the market, where there's just time and patience, and your people are focusing on building real things versus hyping quick money. So bear markets historically are the greatest time. The scary time is when they're bull markets, when things are going up all the time. And to be frank with you, I think that's when the people who are building in bear markets sell in bull markets. If that makes sense. So
yeah, exactly.
So I get more comfortable building in down times. When things are excited, that's when I get concerned. So I think now is a great time to be building.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's kind of been my philosophy going into where we're in right now, and obviously, the cream's going to rise to the top. Gary Vee has stated, 98% of NFT projects will go to zero, but I think ones like what you have very, very special utility. Now, another quote, this is from Mark Twain, history never repeats itself, but it does often sometimes rhyme. And why that's interesting is because you played an integral part into onboarding New Orleans to Web 1. And now with the Nieux Society and you are doing, and the team's doing, is onboarding New Orleans to Web 3. What are some of the similarities you see when onboarding New Orleans to Web 1 and onboarding New Orleans to Web 3?
Well, the quite similarities are, it's just something new. And I think what we did when we, back in 98, 99, I was part of a national network and I saw what was happening in San Francisco. I saw what was happening in New York, Atlanta, and in New Orleans, people just didn't know. It's not that it's anything wrong. It's just the information hadn't gotten to New Orleans yet. So there's an excitement part of, we sort of knew the answers to what was going on and the opportunity to share it to New Orleans. A lot of, at that time, raised eyebrows. What are you doing? What if it fails? I don't understand it. All those similar things have changed, were natural, but we just had privy to information around the world of what was happening, certainly around the internet business. And I was part of a large company that had data research and was showing where trends were going. So there was a opportunity and a responsibility to bring that to New Orleans. And it's the same thing I feel here. It's not really Web3, it's technology. This is just a new form of technology. And you and I, you do as much research as I do. You see what's going on around the country, perhaps the world. So this isn't new. This isn't a new thing. We just got to figure out how to communicate it to New Orleans. And I think the core purpose of the Nieux Society is just to make New Orleans aware. Hey, something's going on, and go explore it yourself. investigate it, make the decisions yourself. The good news is there's a community here now that is set up, that cares about New Orleans, that's looking to explore Web3. And wherever it goes, whatever it works, whatever doesn't work, we're going to go on that journey and figure out. So it's the same, Kev. It's just new ideas. And lastly, I think what we're just trying to do is, once you realize it's just technology, how do New Orleanians leverage what you already know? You know art, you know food, you know music, we know our culture. Let's leverage what we're great at and just use these tools to be the best of the world. So, but it's still frustrating. You and I both know we're getting the raised eyebrows. Tim, what are you talking about? You know, what's this thing? And I personally enjoy trying to help, you know, just to be on the front end of something new.
Yeah, and what a lot of my friends are asking me, like, you know, even my NFT friends are, you know, like, what's the utility of this project? And I kind of like freeze, and I'm like, well, the utility is, and I kind of look around, I'm like, well, you know, you always hear this, you know, the people in New Orleans are so nice and so special. And I'm like, wow, like the people of New Orleans are all in this. You know, we know your network is your net worth, but you know, as far as the utility goes, I've gotten fantastic utility. You know, I've been in Drew Brees' suite. I've never even been in a suite, you know, for a football game before. You know, we had the founders dinner. And now, you know, you guys are working on something new. It's a new Mardi Gras NFT, and it's, you know, a special perk for holders, but it's also going to give, you know, other people of New Orleans or anywhere in the world access to this project.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny you mentioned the utility. I think that as you work through this, you know, I was struck by you guys who went to Art Basel last week. And, you know, here's a group of folks who might not have known each other 6 months ago, who are coming together to go to Art Basel because of buying an NFT. So if you say, what is a utility of an NFT? That's all personal. But one is, how do you get educated about Web3? How do you be connected to folks on that journey? And how do we try new stuff together and explore it? So hopefully people are feeling that that's an opportunity to be educated and connected and try new things. You know, what we are, you know, as we start to learn more about the tools here, as I said, you start to think about what we are great at. Now, the new campus happens to be situated on St. Charles Avenue. We have a killer location for Mardi Gras. I mean, right outside, the parades go all the way, and we've got this huge yard out front, and we have this cool upstairs bar area. So taking out Web3, Kev, just move that aside. It's a great place for Mardi Gras. Yeah. So the idea of launching the first ever, I think, Mardi Gras NFT, which will be number one, access to the campus over from 12th night, which is January 6th, all the way to the last day of Mardi Gras. The simple utility is you get to come here, and there'll be bars, there'll be bathrooms, there'll be food, there'll be people, you can hang out, watch the parade. So from a simple utility, you got to place a home base on St. Charles Avenue. Secondarily, we want to use that time period to showcase all the new Web3 ideas coming out of New Orleans. So it is for folks who want to be inspired over that month and a half time, where we can show the new NFT projects, we can show the 3D Wi-Fi, we can show, you know, the restaurants doing things, but it's a chance to sort of peek into what's happening in Web3 in New Orleans. And thirdly, we can use that NFT to try new ideas. These are folks that love New Orleans and want to experience New Orleans. So all the new ideas we can try out with Web3, and specifically where this campus is where your home base is, but New Orleans is the experience. So how does an NFT allow people to experience the city in a new way? And that's what we want the NFT holder to, you know, to have is, you know, you're going to get a place to have, you know, have a beer, to go to the bathroom, to, you know, chill. You're going to be able to see all the new people and new ideas coming out of the city. But more importantly, we might be able to put a 3D Wi-Fi chip somewhere in downtown where you can get a crawfish boil and Treme. I don't know, but that would be the utility, is the chance to try new things.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. So for somebody who's, you know, wants to come to Mardi Gras, maybe never experienced Mardi Gras, but's in the Web3, the fact that they could get involved with a project like this, and what is the price of this Mardi Gras NFT? Like $100, and they would get access to a private spot for Mardi Gras. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, yeah, you and I both know $100 to have. I think this is the largest place on St. Charles Avenue. So for $100 to have a place on St. Charles Avenue is a remarkable opportunity. But also I would say if you buy this NFT, in a sense, you're in the crew. You now own the right to be in this every year. So next year, when we do the 2024 Mardi Gras NFT, you're on the allow list. You get a chance to be part of it every year. So this is your asset that you can stick with. But more importantly, we get to add new things. You know, who knows what we're come up with. So more than just access to a place for a home base, we're going to try to program that NFT, but also program the place. You know, you might have a pop-up, concert here. You may have, a chef's cooking here. We want to create a really authentic New Orleans experience that allow people who love New Orleans, who want to experience it, but also are digitally savvy, start to experiment how we use it. So we're going to price it at probably 0.1 ETH, around that. We're going to have a sort of a limited edition we're going to submit. The last thing that we're going to do, or not the last thing, one thing that we think is very compelling is the art of the Mardi Gras NFT is actually going to be driven from the 504 founders. We're experimenting with AI art design. And so the great thing is, Kev, you live in Araby, I live uptown, everybody lives in different parts of the city. Everyone's Mardi Gras is different. And so the collection is going to be driven from the 504 founders using AI art to develop their own piece of art. And the things we've seen so far are blowing us away, that the different unique viewpoints of someone's Mardi Gras. So the art will be a collectible. It's like the first doubloon. Yeah, imagine if you had the first doubloon in Mardi Gras in 1865, or whenever it came out. This will be the first Mardi Gras NFT. So as a collectible, it should be pretty cool.
So that's interesting. So maybe somebody that's, new to NFTs, never experienced this. So essentially they would have their MetaMask wallet on their phone. For $100, they would get a custom piece of art sent to their phone, and then they show up for Mardi Gras, and they essentially will scan in, will be similar to the Founders Dinner where they're going to scan in to enter the campus.
They scan in, enter the campus, and they're part of it. And then, tactically, we're working on, you probably get a wristband. So if you have it, then you have a wristband, so you don't have to constantly fumble with your phone. But yeah, you show up with the NFT, you're able to have access. And, the plan will be there'll be, bars here and bathrooms here and food trucks, but this is your campus. And we're hoping people use it, obviously, for fun, but also a way to connect to the Web3 community here in New Orleans. And it becomes stickier. Like this, it's not just come in, have a beer, and leave. You want to do things here. So we're going to try and make it a unique experience. But this is just the beginning, Kev. I mean, this is meaning we're going to try it out this year, but each year imagining this new spot for Mardi Gras will be just different. And it's a way for people around the world that they want to come into New Orleans and not only have fun, but experience the food, the art, the music, and the culture creativity coming through Web3. This is their touch base. So that's what we're working on.
Yeah. So, and again, guys, to give you all a little overview of too, if you're a holder of this, we received the NOLA Brew NFT, and could you kind of explain like other businesses you guys are working with, like with the NOLA Brew NFT, the holders get a free beer every time to go there. I understand that this is kind of a test and a pilot, but I like the directions that's going. So, what other businesses in New Orleans are y'all working with to create, Web3 assets for?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the NOLA Brew is a testing of one of our founders, Doug Wallner, owns NOLA Brewing. So we created a new brand called Nieux Brew, Nieux Brew, BRIUX, which is that opportunity for NOLA Brewery to try new things. It's a new testing of new beer. So two things from that is once a year they're coming out with a specific, unique batch. They're only going to do for the Nieux Brew NFT holders. And you have your NFT label. So what number are you, Kevin?
34. 34.
So there's a number 34 bottle. So you are the only person who can buy number 34. So once a year, there'll be a unique batch of beer that only you could buy number 34. Secondarily, the NFT that we drop, when you walk in NOLA Brew and you show it to them, there's a tap of Nieux Brew and you get to drink for free. So the idea of how do you launch brands? How do you use your NFT as your own brand that you could use? And thirdly, how does it connect people into retail is what we're experimenting with. And so now Doug gets to come up with new ideas for this new brew. So that's what he's going to experiment with. So that's an experiment. So we're looking at that. I mean, you have folks who own restaurants here, some of the most famous restaurants. You have, I don't want to mention names, but some of the most famous music halls. You have folks that have fans, and this city is a city of creators who have fans. So we're looking to develop projects with those folks to reach their fans around the world in unique ways. So that's what we're going to work on in 2023. It's just more new ideas.
And just so you know, so Tim, this project isn't just about, partying and drinking. You guys actually have a lot of events at the campus on St. Charles. One that stuck out to me was, DeMario Davis had the event, which I thought was a really creative and interesting, just a good event for the community. Could you kind of tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, look, we want to have a good time. We want to connect to each other, but really, how do you think about Web3 technology to strengthen our city? That's sort of the challenge. So DeMario Davis connected with Melissa Sawyer, who runs a youth empowerment project, who connected with Michael Williamson, who runs United Way, and Farrah Applebaum, who works with Gilded. And they came up with this idea of a Web3 teen camp. This is this summer. So YEP identified 45 kids from New Orleans, all from local community. And they had a 3-day summer camp about Web3. They were taught, what is Web3? What is the metaverse? How do you open up a MetaMask wallet? What is an NFT? DeMario Davis taught the class. Farrah Applebaum taught the class. And Kev, over 3 days, these kids probably know more than 98% of the people in the country about Web3. But the final project was they were tasked with creating their own NFT. So we got them each a MetaMask wallet. We put ETH into the wallet, and they got tennis shoes. We gave them some tennis shoes, and they create these unique pieces of art for the tennis shoes. They brought it to the new campus, and they launched their collection. And happy to say the collection was sold out in less than an hour. I'm a proud owner of one of the opposites attract as the one I got. But the idea that showcasing that Web3 is an opportunity. We want to make sure that the youth of our city understand that opportunity and give them a connection to the folks that can help them explore that opportunity. So it was not only was it remarkable, Kev, but to see these kids, their lights go off to say, wait, I can do this. This is something that I understand. And then also trying to explain this concept of residual income or royalties. What do you mean I can make something and then get paid over and over again? That's a big idea if you're 11-year-old, that I can actually create residual royalty income. So it was a great prototype, and we're hoping to do more of that in the community.
Yeah, and look, if you're a kid watching this technology, whether you're in art or music, you're going to want to learn about this technology because it really is going to change the world, and it can only benefit the city of New Orleans. So I love seeing because I don't even know if there's any city-based NFT projects doing what the Nieux Society is doing, at least to this scale. So it's just incredible to be a part of it. Now, and guys, look, if you're interested in this project, I'm gonna have all the links in the description of this video. If you want to get, $100 and get access to, the Nieux Society campus from Mardi Gras, it's incredible. But Tim, before we go, I got some New Orleans questions for you. I want to ask.
Go.
All right. Uptown or downtown?
I'm an uptown boy. I gotta say, I know I'm uptown.
All right. Red beans and rice or gumbo?
Gumbo all the way.
Shrimp po' boy or roast beef po' boy?
Shrimp po' boy, absolutely, with hot sauce.
Okay. Now this is a big one. This is a big one because we know Hugh Big just announced they're back now. I actually got some. So Hugh Big pies, apple or lemons? Apple. Okay.
Yeah, of course, apple. I can't do the lemons, too sweet. Yeah.
All right. Now
I know. What about you? What's yours?
I'm apple, man. But lemon is like a 1 and 1A with lemon. I mean, you can't.
What
go
about
wrong
chocolate?
with either.
Throw the chocolate one in there.
You know, the chocolate I only get if the apple lemon was sold out. That was the go-to breakfast after Katrina, like working construction. Like, you know, we didn't have no food choices. Then you ate a
Yeah.
Hubig's pie and a Monster Energy drink for breakfast. Terrible, I know, but
Give me your snowball. Where's your snowball and your favorite snowball?
man, Chalmette's got a legend down here. Goodies. Chalmette's it's a legendary spot. Goodies. It's been there like forever. And any real Chalmatians know about Goodies. Now, okay, you know, I know the Pelicans are doing great right now. So Saints or Pelicans?
Look, I used to go to the Saints games with my dad, and I still got the tickets. And this is a tough year, but I love my Saints. That's something about the teams. Pelicans are great, and I'm a fan, but I'm Saints all the way.
I got you. Now, Tim, one more thing I want to ask you. You know, we obviously a New Orleans tradition. There's red beans and rice. You know, my boy Hold the Mayo, Devin Snows, to me's revitalized the red beans and rice tradition. My mom cooks red beans and rice for my family every Monday. Is there a chance the Nieux Society could have a red beans and rice day on a Monday, perhaps?
Yes. Look, one is bring on the new ideas. Let's do it. So if you want to have a red beans and rice Monday, let's do it on Monday. Let's do it. Let's stop thinking about it. Do it. So the answer is yes. Tell me when you want to roll.
Love it. Love it. Well, Tim, is there anything else you want to leave my audience with?
Well, one is I think your first question about bear markets and time. Now's the time I think for New Orleans to explore what's next, and I think there's no guarantees for anything, but I think the exciting part is to be with a group of folks to go explore. So my first thing is, if you're listening to this, just go explore it, do your own research, identify, just keep eyes wide open. Secondarily, figure out what you're great at and figure out how this technology can help you be better at what you're great at. But thirdly, I would look at 2025 as a mark for all of us. That's when the Super Bowl will be in New Orleans next. My guess is Web3 will be more mainstream by then. I think you'll see major brands participating, and the world's going to come to New Orleans in 2025 and ask a question: what are y'all doing? And either we can be saying we got potholes, we got crime, and things stink here, or we can say, let me show you, we're going through a golden age of creativity. Look at what's happening in our food, our art, our music, and our culture. So we have a moment right now to plan for that moment in 2025. So we've got 2.5 years to prepare for that. So that's my question for your audience is, do we want to just sit here and wait, or do we want to position ourselves for that moment, which I think if we're able to come out of that with New Orleans is going through a golden age of creativity, it's unbelievable. That will set up the next 10 to 20 years of our city of what the possibility. So we have an opportunity. Now's the time to build, in my mind.
Oh, I think New Orleans is going to be, I mean, New Orleans is already on the map, guys, but as far as a Web3 community, I think, this project's really going to put us on the map. But guys, seek solutions instead of problems. Tim, thank you so much for the time, guys. And if you could please like, comment, subscribe, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll have all of Tim's links and all the links to this project if you want to get involved in the description of this video. Anyway, y'all, I'm Classic Kev. This is Tim Williamson. We out, y'all. Peace.